The recording you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the recording has started. So Vikram, you can start.
Yeah, Sridhar, I'm sorry to cut you over there. I have a small clarification. Number one, is the time duration is allotted to each team?
Yes, sir.
Time,
Your voice
time
was
duration to each team.
What is the time duration given for presentation for each team?
maximum 10 minutes, sir.
All right,
Maximum 10 minutes. Okay.
thank
Okay.
you. And second clarification is, do you want us to sum up at the end or after every team? Because team performs, we would have made our observations. Based on
Yes.
observation, you want us to give us the remark immediately after the performance or at the end.
Each team, if you can tell, that would be better.
All right, each team will just address for some time our observations and our remarks. Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Vikram?
Yes,
Hmm.
ma'am. I'll start. Good afternoon, the panel members and respected uh, team members. We are a member of six members, and today I'm going to share my project that is regarding the idea challenge. Actually, the name of our project is resource sharing application. So this idea is will be provided on the platform of Android application, which we are Android as well as iOS application, in which we will be seeing uh, a similar kind of application, which is similar to Ubers and Olas, which we see. But the difference would be here there will be no such employees or the drivers in simple words. Uh, so what will happen is if let's take an example. If I am traveling from Hebel to my college CMRIT daily, which is almost 25 kilometers. So in this case, I use my BMTC bus. But some days when I want to travel through bike, so I'll be taking my bike with me. But the thing is, I will be driving my bike alone, or maybe sometimes even my car. So for the car, which is made to for four people or five people, I will be driving alone. So in this type of situation, what will happen is if we will be using this resource sharing application, which will be provided in both iOS and Android application. There we will be registering the people who want to use this app, and they will be simply putting their starting position till their destination, which is from Hebel to my college CMRIT. So that is almost 25 kilometers, and the people who are in the same journey or in the same way, and if they want any kind of lift help, so through this application they will be sending request, and if I am ready to drop them in in the same path, then I will be accepting that. And in this whole process, there will be a credit system which will be awarded to the driver who is me in this case, and the credit would be given from that person who is taking that lift. So in this whole process, what will happen in the outcome is me and some other strangers, some other people maybe who are going in the same location, they will be saving their time. They will be obviously will be saved through the crisis if they are in such situations, maybe if they want to go early. And as well as that, it is very cost effective for obviously for me also, and for people also who are obviously going alone. And then talking about environment, it will also provide a very good impact on the environment, as the number of vehicles will be reduced drastically, and it will overall be a very sustainable option which we can see in the near future. So concluding this, I would like to say that this is our plan, and we are actually working on this project, which is known as resource sharing. Thank you.
Hello, sir.
Vikram, you're done? You're
Uh,
done with
y-
your presentation?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Vikram, my heartiest congratulations to you. Very innovative, very nice and wonderful concept. This would certainly help to decongest Bangalore traffic. But then,
Yes, sir.
any app or any system of this kind, we have seen earlier also. But what happened? It it creates confusion only, much more than giving any solution. So, have you anticipated what kind of possible confusions it might create?
Yes, sir. In the early stages, sir, we came across one or two problems that may come. That is, in some cases, it may arise that if somebody has requested to go from one point to other, and it may take some maybe more than the expected time for me to reach there. So in this case, uh, it is a little bit difficult for the people who are waiting to calculate how much time it will take for the person to reach there. So, because obviously I am not an employee who is working to drop that person from one point to other. So this difficulty would come, but certainly we will tackle this with certain credit points, obviously, because we know that we will be using some credit system. So here, if I am not able to reach at that point on a certain given time, or obviously that approximate time that we will be calculating
All right.
through that, so then it will work like this, sir.
Well, I'm very keen on one thing. I would really not ask you about innovation.
Yes, sir.
Uh, Other than traffic decongestion, what is the biggest social benefit you would see in this? And I'm very keen on social benefits.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, obviously the traffic would be decreased in a very huge number, and then the pollution would be very in a very huge number. It will also decrease because I have myself seen a lot of people driving through maybe the four wheeler, that is car, maybe through jeeps, maybe through some other four wheelers, which is meant to be for four people or maybe for five people, but uh, a lot of time in a days people are using the cars alone. So obviously this will help uh, to decrease the pollution also in a
All right.
very
All
huge
right.
number.
Thank you,
Yes.
Vikram. Vikram, me and my other panelist, Mr. Mudassir, will also give you the liberty in case if you want to ask any question to the panel, you're also at the liberty to ask one question. It's not that only we ask question because we want the object is very, very simple and very clear. Each one of
Yes.
you are presenting this with some cause and some reason. At the same time, I want you to go back home with some learning,
Yes,
and
sir.
that would perhaps be possible when you ask one or two questions to us in case if you have before I
uh,
hand over to
yes,
the
sir.
next step.
Sir, we would like to ask, like, if any feedback you have, that would be very good for us to learn, sir, for the future as well.
Your feedback is very simple. My very first question itself was my feedback.
Yes, sir.
Minimize the confusion. Minimize the confusion. Such innovative project would always lead to bigger confusion if you cannot avoid it completely for various reasons. I understand that. If you can minimize that, nothing like it, this would certainly be a very innovative concept. Okay. So,
Yes, sir.
over to
Yes, sir.
my
Got it.
panelist,
Yes.
Mr. Mudassir. Sir, over to you.
Yeah, Vikram, the presentation was very good.
Yes.
See, companies like Ola and Uber, or any other for that matter, they've already captured the market. People,
Yes, sir.
when they think of hiring a private vehicle, they think of Ola. They first go to Ola and then Uber. And Ola has come up with so many options now. Sharing option or mini sedan, you have auto, various other options. So, how do you plan to tackle this kind of competition, which has already captured the market?
Uh, Sir, I think this would be tackled by the lucrative policies that will bring in the early stages of the market, because obviously, sir, people would be evaluating different options that they would be having, and if we are able to give them the best option that is not present right now, then obviously they will be at least checking what is there. So, sir, we talking particularly, sir, we would plan to at least give some benefits in the early stages. Like there would be some free rides would be there, sir, through our expense to the to some stages, and some marketing. Obviously, some marketing techniques would be used, sir, in the early stages, at least to gather some crowd and for people to know about this. So that would be, sir.
I agree that can be a very good social benefit, like how Mr. Aftab was talking about. He was interested and keen in knowing how will it socially benefit people. But then if you want to offer free rides, see, we Indians have this mentality like anything you're getting 1 + 1 free, they're in for it. But you need a lot of investment for that. You have to look for a lot of investors.
Yes, sir.
Until when will you survive, and until what time? It becomes very difficult.
Yes, sir. So that.
And one more thing I want to add. Sorry, one more
Yes, sir.
thing I
Yes.
want to add. See, gone those days when people used to wait for a particular solution. Today, if you turn on your laptop, you will first realize the boot time.
Yes, sir.
If you are going for, that is why Samsung was not able to capture the market in terms of computer peripherals, like whether it is printer or laptop in this segment.
Yes, sir.
They were not able to beat. So today, the moment you turn on the laptop, you want the system to boot in seconds. So even if you have a very good system with you, and if it is taking 12 seconds or 15 seconds to boot, then you will definitely not go for it.
Yes, sir.
The same goes with even with the electronic gadgets like television. The response time from one channel to the other channel, you will calculate how many milliseconds it takes, to shift to the other channel. And this is called the response time in television. Every brand has its own response time in particular.
Yes, sir.
So today people are looking for that kind of quick solution. You might say that we will take another 1 year to establish in the market and then let people see the benefit. By then, Ola will come up with another 15, 20 easy other solutions. What I'm trying to say is you should be prepared enough and you should be ready to gear up to any level, looking into the challenges that you come across.
Yes, sir. Sir, talking
Yeah.
about, sir, the cost
So
that you
you should get.
said that funding we would be needing, sir, that is obviously. Yes, sir. That is, sir, obviously, sir, one of our challenges, sir, because in the early stages, we know that we don't need that much of funding, but in the later stages, obviously, we will be needing. So that's why, sir, we in our idea, sir, we will not be hiring any kind of like the Ola uses or maybe the Uber uses the cars and the drivers. So here, obviously, the people who are already driving on a daily basis, so they will be using that now. The initial, sir, in initial stages we would be requiring funding only for the cost only would be used in the software that we would be using and the employees that would be working behind them. So I think in comparison to Ola and Ubers, I think it would be almost like one fifth of the cost that they are using.
I appreciate it, but one thing I would like to suggest you that when you talk about the funding, I
Yes, sir.
think you need the funding in the initial stages and not at the later stage.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Why I'm telling you this is because when you start working on the app right today and you make people aware that there is something that they can expect in the very near future, that
Yes,
involves a
sir.
lot of marketing and cost.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So rather than you completing the entire project and then hitting the market with your advertisement statics or whatever marketing strategies that you come up with, it will take another 6 months to 1 year or even more than that for you to at least reach out to people and make them download your app and install it.
Yes, sir.
So I think parallelly you have to start working on your funding and your marketing and advertisement strategy, so that the moment you are ready with the app completely, you are also ready to hit the market immediately.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Mr. Aftab, you have anything to say?
Yeah, nothing. That's it, Vikram. Thank you very much. All the best. I think yeah, I'm sure you are going back home with some
Yes.
Vikram, thank you. Thank you very much. It was a great presentation. I'm sure Mudassir's input would definitely make your innovative ideas more innovative. Okay, all the best.
Thank you, sir.
Good, Vikram.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's it.
Okay. Next team, Raidu, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Yeah. You can share your presentation.
So,
Just a second.
Madam, after every team, you
Yeah.
give us 2 minutes because we have to evaluate and grade them. After 2 minutes, we can present the next team. And before the presentation, just tell us the team number.
Okay, okay. Okay. You can give the marks now. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 minutes, we'll evaluate.
Sure.
okay, can we have the next team, please?
Okay, sir. Hello, I'm Raidu. So today
Mr.
I'll be,
Naidu, what is your team number?
sir, team number 2.
Okay, fine. Go ahead.
Today I'll be pitching about my project, satellite recovery system. So the main objective of this project is to reduce the cost of space accessibility and to make a reusable satellite technology. Generally,
Raidu,
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
can you just put it in slideshow?
Sure, ma'am. One second. Think slideshow, even if I keep in slideshow, it's displaying the same, ma'am.
Yeah, you can continue.
Uh, Generally, space travel and space missions are much needed for scientific advancement. And nowadays, space missions are short term. Like even if they send a satellite, the mission is short term, like 1 month or 2 months mission. But still, sending the satellite to orbit is it costs so much high, and it's so much complex. But by using high altitude balloons (HABs), the satellite launch cost can be decreased and can be very simple. Uh, so the brief description of the project is to a satellite launched by HAB, launching a satellite with a high altitude balloon. The next milestone is reaching the target altitude and conducting the experiment. And the third milestone is to recovering the satellite with the help of autonomous gliding system. Ma'am, is my slide? Yeah, now it's sharing. Next. The existing approaches for these types of missions are general HAB missions. Like they will just launch a satellite, and after launching the satellite, they will chase the satellite like hundreds of kilometers, and they will recover the satellite. There is no proper recovery system for these types of missions. So how our project is different from the existing approaches? Originality is it's very clear. We have an autonomous gliding system. Our satellite, after completing its mission, it starts gliding back to the coordinates which are pre-fed into its onboard computer, so that it comes back to that location, and it will be landed safely. Now this is the traditional high altitude mission. Generally, a satellite is launched with a balloon, and after the balloon is burst, it will glide. It will fall down with the help of a parachute and land somewhere. And you can see another picture. It's actually a flight prediction of today. If we launch a satellite from our college with a high altitude balloon, it will land somewhere around like 80 kilometers away. So we need to chase that satellite, go after that using GPS. And even if you go there, the probability of finding the satellite is very low, like 30 to 40% only. And this is just a second. This is a small animation of how satellite recovery system would be. Sorry, I'm unable to play that clip. I don't know what happened.
Maybe from your
I'll
folder you
continue.
can do. Raidu?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, that's fine. Just a second, sir. Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, no problem. I understand. Technology. We are with you. Go ahead.
So this is a general animation of our system. A balloon is launched with a high altitude balloon, and after the balloon bursts, a drag chute is deployed. After reaching certain altitude, the glider starts gliding back to the prefed coordinates and lands safely. No, the problems which may be arise during implementation of this project. The first main problem is to making this glider as light as possible. If the weight of the glider increases, we may not have flexibility in our payload. We may have to use we may send only low weight satellites, and we must develop a glider such a way that it's so much efficient it can glide to far distances also. These are the two main problems which will arise. And the third problem is electronics must function in low and high temperatures. This can be countered by using high quality electronics and using some internal heaters also, like heat pads. And this is the last slide. Why a proposal should be considered for selection? Generally, space sector in India is booming. Just last year, ISRO has announced private space sector, and it's announced so many schemes for the private space sector in India. There are few new companies also arise, but most of them are space education companies. Only few of them are few of them provides launch services in India. And especially with our mission, we can send satellites to near space by low cost, approximately like 8,000 rupees only. We can send a satellite up to 30 to 35 kilometers altitude, which is almost in the edge of the space. And our satellite is reusable. We can reuse the satellite quick and efficiently. Like in a day, we can conduct number of experiments in a single day. We can conduct number of experiments in space. So with that, I'll end my presentation. Thank you. Today was something rough. Sorry. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me be very.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Now we
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you.
I
I
think
think
we have lost. Yeah, yeah. No, I think
after.
we have lost Mr. Aftab. He will join back. He will join
Yes,
back.
sir.
Until
Yes,
then,
sir.
let me share my thoughts.
Sure, sure.
Mr. Naidu, I have a question for you. What do you
Yes, sir.
think the social benefit of your idea is?
The social benefit is like up to now there is no service which is available for public, sir. Like common students, if suppose if I want to do a small experiment in space, I have no option. Uh, I
Okay.
cannot rely on ISRO also because it will not send a student satellite that easily. We must pay like some amount. It generally costs around like 50 to 60 lakhs.
Mm-hmm.
With by using this high altitude balloons and recovery system, we can conduct space experiments very cheaply, sir. So
Okay.
number of experiments and students will also be interested in space and this technology, sir.
Okay. Okay. Any other major benefit?
So satellite reusability, sir. Uh, Up to now, if you send a satellite, it is not recovered. It is left dead in orbit, or even ISRO send. Even if you send with a high altitude balloon, they will leave that satellite there only, sir. Because recovering cost is much high. Traveling, searching for that satellite, and probability is also low. So they will leave that satellite somewhere in the woods only, sir. But with this, we can bring back the satellite. We can see the result. We can upgrade it and we can resend it, sir. We can reuse it, the same satellite. With an n number of times, we can send this satellite, sir.
Okay. Great. Great. I think that covers most of my clarifications. I think Aftab has something to say.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mudassir. I just want to understand your project is certainly innovative, no doubt about it, which I said it earlier also. But I want to understand from you, what do you think? Your project is more creative or more innovative?
So I think it's both
How
because,
do you draw a line? How do you draw a line between creativity and innovation?
sir, creativity, I think using existing innovations, existing technologies to our benefit, to
Hmm.
our advantage playing. And innovation
Hmm.
is completely building from the scratch new technology and using it, sir.
Okay.
So mine
Okay.
is like already high altitude balloon missions are being conducted worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using that high altitude balloon missions and using my glider system so that we can bring reduce the cost and increase space accessibility.
All right. That way, I would further ask you. You mean to say that the concept what you have is
So
not at all existing?
no, sir. High altitude missions are being conducted, but the
Mhm.
recovery process is new, sir. Nowhere in the world
Okay.
this type of technology or this type of thing has been developed, sir.
Yeah. Quickly, I just want to make a small correction in your answer. The second part of
So,
your answer was right. You said what innovation is, which was 100% correct. But
so,
about creativity, the
so
first half of your answer is right. What is your answer? I'll correct it. Just give me the answer for creativity.
sir,
You
like
said using
using
existing
existing
system.
technologies and innovations to our advantage.
Then what is the creativity rate? Creativity means using the existing system with the required modification without changing the concept is called creativity. I repeat, please remember this. Using the existing system with a slight modification without diluting it completely is called creativity. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So you would like to say that your project is a combination of creativity and innovation.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Mr. Naidu, did you understand what is creativity as explained by Aftab?
Yes, sir. I
I'll
understood.
give you, I'll give you one small example.
Okay, sir.
Uh, you make some vase or some craft out of some ice cream sticks.
Yes, sir.
According to me, that is creativity actually. But you innovate something new which doesn't exist, and then you create is called innovation.
अच्छा
In simple terminology, I'm telling you. So
अच्छा
that's about it. But overall, it was good, Mr. Naidu. I think
Okay.
India needs upcoming scientists like you. I wish you good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. 2 minutes for evaluation.
2 minutes for evaluation now. Okay.
Fine,
After
fine,
that,
sir.
we call upon the next team.
Fine, sir. So next, actually, we have Mohit Sharma and group. So Mohit Sharma and group, please be ready.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah,
No,
Mohit.
one second. One second.
Mohit,
Wait, wait.
Yeah.
Mohit,
One second.
give us 2 minutes, okay?
Yeah, wait, Mohit.
Sure.
Maybe by the time you can share your presentation and wait till sir comes. Mohit?
Yeah. Go ahead with the next participant.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ashutosh Nirwal.
Team number?
So, sir, I
Three, sir.
don't think
Yeah.
I have a team number.
Team
Three,
number
three,
three,
three.
sir.
All right.
So,
Thank you,
sir,
madam. Team number three.
the idea which we are going to present is the library central.
So is it Mohit who is presenting?
No, ma'am, it's Ashutosh. I'm using his ID.
Ashutosh. Okay, fine, Ashutosh. Carry on.
So, is my screen visible? The presentation?
Yes, you can put it on the slideshow mode. Check whether it is possible. Enable editing. No, it's
So, the
fine.
idea I'm going to present is called the library central. The main idea behind Library Central is to create India's largest reselling platform for physical books. So we provide services such as delivery all over India, payment gateways for clients, and we help our clients to easily sell or buy books on a platform. It's quite an abstracted idea from OLX, but for only books. And adding on to that idea, we provide delivery services and payment gateways also. So in this, what the idea was mainly that we found some traditional problems in our daily life. That was that if you want to sell your books which are in good conditions, and first of all, there are not many possible options for with you, uh, and the options that are available to you will either be very costly, not in terms of money, but yes, you will be actually paying more in selling your book than you will be actually getting what you think for the book. So the idea was that we provide a platform so that we can actually address this problem. We can have sellers get more profit, help them. We can actually let people buy those books at very cheap rates, and we also want to provide people with the ability to actually increase the circulation of second-hand books in the market. So the solution we came up with was this idea. In this idea, what we do is we provide a virtual platform, and people can list their products on it. Then we do is we take the price we offer a price to the seller. If the seller accepts the price, it's listed on a platform after adding our commission to it. After that, the buyer can buy those books directly
and they will be delivered to the person. The delivery which we use in this idea is actually not the whole India. We do not cover the India as it is. What we do is we sort out the books according to the delivery locations and the buyer locations. So, for example, if I'll take my localities example, I'm from Dehradun. So, for example, if I live in Dehradun and I want to buy a particular book and it's available at multiple locations in Dehradun, so what we'll do is we'll sort out the location which is nearest to me. Then our delivery agent will collect the book from there and deliver it to you. In this process, we uh, take these things. We take many things into consideration. One, as I said, was the delivery location. Then in this, the target market audience which we targeted was basically school students and college students, those who need reference books and all kind of books, because we know that in India there is a lot of shortage of books when it comes to the school students. When they are changing their they are being promoted, they face a issue in buying new books. And being so many second-hand books out there and not in the circulation, we found that it was a problem we could solve with this platform. And as I have written some data here, target market audience is quite large. There's around 14 to 15 lakh schools in India, and there are 315 million students in India. So it gives us a large opportunity for this platform. Then this is the business growth model. We so not only by selling your books, you can help somebody sell their books, and they can let me explain what I mean by near school physical locations. The near school physical locations are our collection and delivery points in this. So what happens is there are a lot of shops which actually do the printing stuff for the students. So what we do is we incorporate them in our business model. We provide them a percentage of every book they help us collect or deliver. In this physical location, either you can directly go there, sell your book, or you can do is you can first list it on a website, then go there, sell it, or you can directly collect it from there, or you can get it home delivered. Home delivery and collection charges are different. We also set up some campus ambassadors, students maybe. So what we can do is you collect a group of students. You have it's a basically refer and earn only, but you earn on the campus level. If somebody from that campus sells a book to us who has a referral link from you, you get a percentage no matter who has given them the referral link elsewhere from elsewhere. These are revenue model, very simple revenue model. We come in between, we take the payments and help the product delivery. And we do not give the seller information to the buyer, nor the buyer's information to the seller. Commission percentage over the book depends upon the condition of the book and how costly the book is. The early period of the business, and we do not provide cash on delivery because that would actually increase the cost of delivery on our side. So we do not want that. Then the working platform will be very easy. Buying process is you just visit the platform, find the product from the list, select it, enter your information, select the mode of payment, and as soon as you have the confirmed order, we will deliver it to you as soon as possible. Selling process is quite a little on a lengthy side from the buying process, because in buying you can also buy as a guest, but when you are selling, you need to visit the platform, create an account, complete your profile with us. Once we have completely verified your profile, you can upload the product images, describe the product, and you just need to accept the product offer which we give you. If you do not accept the offer, we change the offer. Either we increase it if there is a possibility. Delivery process, as I have told you, there are two delivery processes. Either get it delivered at your home, or you can just collect it from our collection center. Collecting it from our collection center actually costs you less than it will be from getting it delivered to your home. Similar is on the selling process side, that you can either give it to the you can either give it to the collection center directly, or you can get it picked up from home. That cost is also added to your, but it is also that we do not add the cost of delivery on a single side. We actually split it on the both sides, so though not a single person has to bear a large amount of delivery charges. Thank you.
Ashutosh, you done?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. 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 I have a few questions for you.
Definitely, sir.
My first thing is, in a world where everybody is getting online,
Yes, sir.
whatever it is, we want to go online and do it.
Yes,
Whether
sir.
it is reading books or anything for that matter. You want to
Yes.
buy something. We go to Reliance supermarket, and then we have our phone with Amazon app on. So we try to compare
Definitely.
the prices there. We have moved to that phase today. So in a world where everything is online, why do you think people will go for physical books?
Sir, I understand where the question is coming from, and sir, not everybody actually prefers online books. I have seen many people around me, those who do not prefer physical books, those who even do not prefer the physical schooling. And if we specifically talk about India, in India there is a large section of students, those who are far from getting online in terms of education completely. And if we talk about getting education from online books, for me, it's like an impossible thing for a large section of India, students of India today. So we can actually sustain it for the longer period of time, because India is not going anywhere in terms of online education and online book reading. And even the parents have that mentality still, that online reading on a phone is not that sufficient, that good, that it is on the offline method in a physical book. And additionally, I believe that when we have a physical book, we have quite a lot of benefits. Like we can mark the important points, we can highlight things, we can actually underline everything we want, and it can be comprehensive. But when we are talking about online, it becomes a mess when we are selecting something, deselecting something, and by chance, if your data is gone, it's gone. So that is something we expect that people still understand.
See, the wear and tear is always there.
Yes,
Say,
sir.
for example, you have kept the book, and some kid comes in and he tears a few pages and makes some rockets out of it. So if you
Definitely, sir.
compare that with the data, I think both are same. But if it is online, then you don't have to store anything, right?
It
It
is,
comes automatically. Number one. Number
yeah.
two, see, even today in online reading also, you get bookmarks, you can highlight it, you can save it, you can add it to your favorites. You can open it the time you want, and I think that is more safe. You can increase the font size, you can view it in different angles, and immediately if you want a reference, you click on the link and you get to another page where you get all the details into it. So, don't you see these benefits will mark as an end to the physical reading?
No, sir. I do not think it will be the end of physical reading. As we can see, sir.
No,
If
I
we talk,
see. Sorry to interrupt. See, physical reading, yes, definitely. As you said, that there is one section of people who would definitely go for it. See, that is the reason we have newspapers coming into our houses today.
yes, sir.
We have
Yes,
our
sir. I was
elders
speaking
who
about
would
the
prefer to
newspaper.
we have our elders who prefer to read newspapers rather than watching television. But how long
Definitely,
will that survive? Today's generation, they don't want to see the newspaper.
definitely, sir.
How it is very difficult to convince them.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so school going kids or college going dudes or whatever you call them as, they don't want to browse through the newspaper 20 pages. Who has the patience to read all that? Definitely my father, who is retired now, he has all the time during the day to go through each and every line of the newspaper. He's happy with that.
Yes,
But how
sir.
long will this trend continue?
So that's what is just a section of a you can say startup. in the further coming, we just want that first we could actually enhance the circulation of the physical books that are out there. We also want that those students, those who are actually in the physical books, not just the students, so we are not just talking about the textbooks. We are also talking about every type of book that is out there, whether it be a novel, whether it be a fiction, whether it be a self-help book. Because when we conducted the research, a lot of students wanted to have the book in their hands, the book they wanted to be in their hands, because once your phone charge runs out, once it's gone, you need something physical. And we cannot always be connected to the internet, we cannot always be on the phones, we and phones also provide disturbance, there are notifications and all. So we did the research on this, and then we came up with this idea.
But don't you think there are more limitations to physical reading? Say, for example, let us say I'm talking about a book written by Stephen Covey. I'm not sure if you've heard of him. He's one of the best trainers and motivator across the globe.
Okay, sir.
Stephen Covey comes from, yeah. So he has written a lot of books. Say, let us talk about a book called Speed of Trust.
Okay, sir.
Now, I may be interested in Speed of Trust. I've heard it from someone. I go to the market and buy a book. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And just for the sake of reading, see, it has 200 or 300 pages. So the
Yes.
moment I start reading, I get bored of it. I have spent about 700, 800 bucks on it. So
Okay.
I'm not okay. I mean, I did not like the book. So what do I do with the book? I
So
have
that's
wasted.
why,
But that limitation is not there on online reading.
sir, if we actually talk about the limitation, it still exists in the online reading, because if you are buying from let's talk about the Kindle, Amazon Kindle. If you want to read the same book on Amazon Kindle, might be you do not spend 700 bucks, but yes, you will somewhere spend 400 to 500 bucks still. And when we talk about, first say that you wanted, you said that you have spent 700 bucks and now you don't want to read the book, then this is the best case when we come into the play, because you can list the book at a platform and you can sell it to someone who knows he wants to read the book, and he wants to read it in the physical form and not the online form. And when we talk about Amazon Kindle, you cannot resell your book if you don't want to read it. You have already spent 400 500 bucks on the digital copy, and now you don't want to read it, it's gone.
One more thing, yeah. If I have to add to it, you have the
Yes.
best and top platform available to sell anything and everything, that is OLX.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, which is already captured the market. You type anything, you will get it.
Yes, sir. I
So
understand that.
how do you plan to beat the competition there?
Sir, the first thing is we are providing deliveries. OLX doesn't provide deliveries. It does not provide proper client to uh, client to seller payment gateways. First thing is that we
No,
provide.
that is actually not required, right? You get to meet the person directly. You see the book, you see the product. If you're satisfied, you pay them cash, do an online transfer or whatever is your understanding with him. Try to negotiate with the person directly. Now, even if somebody likes a book on your platform and I want to go for it, how do I get the authenticity of the product and what is the delivery period? How do you going to track it? Shipment you have to
Definitely, sir.
track, you have to track about the payment. And if you do not like the book, for some default, again there are returns and you should accept the returns, again the payment returns. There are so many things.
Yes, sir. That's what I said. That here comes into the play the physical collection centers that I talked about. We do not actually deliver a book from Delhi to Dehradun. If we had to do that, it will definitely cost a lot of money. So what we do is we take the locality centers, the shops which are actually into the stationery, such as printing shops. They print stuff for people and they have space to keep the books. So we take them as our agents, and they help us do this. We do not actually, for example, if you are buying an NCRT on a second hand platform, we will not deliver it to you from Delhi. We will actually find the nearest location which is nearest to you.
Okay, one more thing. See,
Yes,
the
sir.
reasons why I'm asking you these questions is I would rather assume that you have done your homework properly, while
Yes,
creating this app.
yes, sir.
Okay, now you said kids who are getting promoted to the next level, the
Yes, sir.
next year.
Yes,
So they have difficulty in buying books.
yes, sir.
So I don't think, see, according to me, I don't think there is any difficulty in buying because the school or the college, the institute itself provides the books at the time of admission.
No, sir.
Even
It's
the
actually
notebooks are provided.
no, sir. That has been the case in the past years, but uh, I just came from the schooling level. I know that these things were stopped a long time ago. And even if the college
My
or
my
the
two
school,
kids, my two kids are studying in the school. I have
sir, which
not
class?
spent a single rupee on buying any book outside the school so far.
So, which class are we talking about exactly?
She is in high school,
Okay,
eighth
sir.
standard. My son is in fifth standard.
Yes, I understand your point there too, but if there are kids who will not be actually interested in buying new books and from the school because they are costly.
No, you
And
don't have, you're not left with any option. No, during the admission they collect the fees and it is mandatory. You don't have an option left. You have to buy the bag, which is mandatory because they print the school name on the bag.
I understand, sir,
You-
your point, but it's not actually a very good trend. It's not actually very popular trend because in on the if I say I have seen UP, I have seen Uttarakhand, and such trend does not exist here. Students still have to buy the books from the shops. They roam around. They try to find the books for the cheap because I have done this thing from my schooling days. What I used to do is I used to buy the books from my seniors, then sell them to my classmates on profit. I did that in my school time, and I know that it's not a very popular trend in our areas.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned my last question. I will be done with this. You said, according to your research, there is a lot of shortage of books in India.
Yes, sir.
What kind of research have you done, and how did you come to this conclusion?
So as I just said, I used to sell books to my classmates from my seniors. The thing is, when the NCRT session starts, everybody runs towards buying the NCRT books, and we have seen this in newspapers also that there comes a shortage of NCRT books because there is a limited printed material out there, and there are students who have waited for 2 months, three months for buying the books. We have seen this in our school time. We still see it with the students, those who are coming to the college. We talk to them. We know that they are still facing these issues.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll hand over this to Aftab.
Okay, Ashutosh, I was just listening to your justification and Mudassir's clarification. I think I must
Yes, sir.
compliment both of you. You are actually complimenting each other. Mudassir has said it all. Very little left out for me to speak. Your
Yes, sir.
cons certainly work if if put a
Okay, sir.
condition. What is the condition? Are you trying to target a particular segment or a section of a society, or on a whole, you want to promote this concept to every nook and corner?
So we try to promote it to everybody, but
Hmm.
keeping in mind that not everybody will be our customer. We will be having some specific customers, the repeat customers, such as school students, novel readers, those who find some self-help books very expensive. Then there
Okay.
will be people who do not want to store the book. They want to read it, and they want to just get rid of it. They want to sell it out, and they do not want to spend a lot of money on it to read that book in the physical form.
Okay. See, I have a small suggestion. I don't ask you question. I suggest you something.
Definitely,
See,
sir.
asking you something when we have access to ebook for majority of us. What is
Yes, sir.
innovation to your concept? That was his question, and you beautifully justified it. Even today, there are majority of the people who do not have access to technology and internet. Agreed. So if you could focus that segment, perhaps
Yes.
this concept would largely work instead of focusing in large. Today, all big cities, even in remote areas we have internet access, but still,
Yes.
as you said, there are few areas where people are deprived of this. Maybe if you can
Yes.
focus target on those areas, this
Yes,
concept.
sir. Actually, you just reminded me something I just forgot to mention in this all PPT stuff.
Yeah,
Uh,
go ahead.
if in the villages of UP side and the villages around UP, a new trend has started that after the everything getting online, they did not had a proper place to sit down and do their studies. Students did not have. So the places, these villages came up with a new idea of creating reading places. They call it libraries there, and they have these reading places. So we also try to take them into account. We also try to take them as we try to change them into libraries, proper libraries where people can walk in and take the books using this.
What do you think with your survey? What percentage of the people are still following that conventional system?
Sir, actually, it's a very new stuff that's recently just started in the lockdown, and
No,
I
no,
would
I'm
say that
still asking.
yes, sir, 25 to
My
30% students are still there in those libraries.
okay. That was my question. All right, yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Give us 1 minute for evaluation.
Yes, sir, sure.
Next, Panaga and team, please be ready.
Ma'am, can we present?
You can share your slides. Meanwhile,
Yeah. Next team, you can go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Pragati. So we are a team of four who are working on this project. Neha, myself, Pragati, Jiva, and Panaga. So our team is our project is autonomous cart. So the basic objective of the project is to make the transport of students.
Please
Your
put
team
your
number.
slides. The team
Team number.
number is 4, right? Team number 4,
Yes,
sir.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can put it in the slideshow mode.
Yes.
Yeah, now you can start.
Okay. So the objective of the project is to make the transport of students and professors easier and smarter inside the campus. So we are planning to make an autonomous cart, which would which can which can be inside the campus and take the people from one place to another. So basically, the people can just show a hand gesture, the cart would stop, and they can sit inside, and they will have a control panel inside where they can just mark where they have to go, and the cart would automatically take them there and stop so that they can get down. As societies are rushing towards technical innovations to make lifestyle easier, this would actually be something really impactful for people. Also, it can be a hand in need to physically disabled people. Since also it's an electric cart, so it will not get into fossil fuel crisis. So, our project, this can be implemented in small area transport. in university campus, hospitals, or tourist spots. Also, implementing these on actual roads may be riskier, but in campus are comparatively safer, as we all know about automatic cars which are on their way. So, a brief description about the project. A project focuses on designing an autonomous golf cart which can carry people inside college campuses, hospitals, or tourist spots. These are small and clean, small and can easily be implemented in small areas. So these are it's a data which basically tells American expert driverless car to be common in 10 years. So these are people who think in how many years it would be a common thing in America. Also, the existing approaches, which is Waymo from Google headquarters in California, and similarly, we have a lot of models which are being used currently. So these are autonomous miles. So they have already used the vehicle for these many miles, and these are the crashes, and these are the the crash rate per 1,000 miles. So, how a proposal is different from the existing approaches. Originally, the existing ones uses cars which are expensive and difficult to control in case of emergency. So, we'll be using golf cart, which would be easier. Also, the performance of golf carts are better due to low power consumption, and it would also be cost effective, and we'll be using it for a smaller area, so we can actually use it for like a year. We are planning to use it for like a year manually, so that we can collect images and store it in cloud, which later on can be used to make it automatic. So this is a block diagram which shows we are planning to drive it manually for a year, collect image data, train the model, the golf cart. We'll be using sensors for monitoring. Also, we'll be storing the images in cloud. With the help of all these, we'll try to make the vehicle auto drive. So the problems that may be encountered while implementing the project is the lack of image data set to train the ML model, requirement high definition maths, current road infrastructure must be altered for smooth working. Reasons why this proposal should be considered for selection: because it's very cost effective and simpler to implement. As we are implementing it in a small area, it is easy to maintain. College campus hospital would be the best place to start the journey of autonomous cars in India. As we all know, it's really difficult for the automatic cars to suddenly go on Indian roads. So this would actually be a good start in the field. So the budget estimates are over there. So the golf cart would cost around 2.5K. IR sensors would be 250. LiDAR would be 800. UV sensors 500. IR cameras 2200. So these are estimates that we have. And thank you.
Pragati?
Yes, sir.
Yes. See, the concept and ideas, definitely I'm in for that because I was always thinking if there is something like this, it would be easier for us to move around within the campus. But I'm sure my colleague Aftab will definitely not like this idea because he's the man who believes in only walking. So you ask him to walk from one college to the other college, he will happily walk.
That's
And again, yeah, so I'm not sure if he will be in for your idea, but yes, I look for some vehicles to move around in vehicles whenever I go somewhere. So It's in, but more or large, what will happen is I feel that health is taken for a toss, for that matter. At least you get to walk within the campus, because we are so very used to sit in our cars and vehicles for every silly thing that we are whenever we are stepping out of house. So at least if you're not getting to walk in the college or any campus for that matter, it might be a reason for health hazard, because healthier people will also opt for the same. It is definitely applicable for somebody who is disabled or somebody who is weak, cannot walk, agreed. But all the people, I think, will go for it if this option is provided. One
I
second thing
just
is
want to.
while you were presenting, making your presentation, I felt like as if you are reading out the presentation. That's all. See, the presentation should be very minimum information on the slide and maximum explanation. So I was just feeling like you have written everything on the slide and you're just reading it out. So I think there has to be some modification in your next level of presentation.
Sure, sir.
Okay. I think that is it from me. I think Aftab will take over.
Thank you, Mudassir. What actually I wanted to say, Mudassir said it. One thing I would agree completely with Mudassir, even I felt that you are just reading it to rule out the doubt. If you can kindly come on the video and give us a real benefit to the society, that would largely help us to get convinced, yes, this is certainly innovative. Kindly come on the video and give us the justification how largely it can benefit the society, because I've always been a person who has a great concern for society. So, social benefit, I would love to hear from you. Yes, Pragati, you can come on video and tell us.
Yes, sir. Just a second.
Well, let's try it.
Hello, sir.
Hello,
I hope
go
you
ahead.
can see me. So I'm basically sitting with my team. All four of us are over here. So, sir, as health is concerned, walking is, I guess, it's good, but for a small campus, it's fine. But there are campuses in India and other places as well, like huge campuses where it's actually really difficult to walk and go every single time. Like from one department to another department or from one building to another, you'll actually have to think before going. So, not everyone would prefer walking, and that is something. Also, it would be really good if it's used in hospitals, because hospitals like even in Bangalore, we must have seen in command hospitals, they use these golf carts. So if those are made automatic, that can be a possibility. So in hospitals, it would actually be used, because patients, they actually can't walk. Maximum of the patients would prefer going on that, and for disabled people, it would be really helpful. Plus, it can be used in other organizations, like some companies, like a big, like
See,
an
when you talk about social benefit, anything new would certainly benefit. But largely, I still don't see that major benefit. Number one, and number two, today all the institutions are looking for decongestion of traffic. Okay, in this scenario, if you add this, I don't know how it really benefits.
sorry.
You spoke about large campuses. How many large campuses we have across? Very few. We can actually count it, right? That means you are focusing on a very small market.
Okay, sir. But actually, maximum of the tourist spots also, like I myself
Pragati,
have visited recently.
Pragati, you can go off camera. We just wanted to make sure that you're not reading. We just wanted to make sure you're not reading. That's why we called you on the camera. You can go off camera and explain.
Sure. Just yes, sir. So it would be, it would be helpful for using it in tourist spots as well. Like I myself has visited recently, and they have a really long way to walk and then go to the main place. Like I visited Taj Mahal a few months back. So even there, there are people who will be driving those golf carts. So that can be made automatic, and it would actually be a kickstart towards the automatic vehicle industry.
You're talking about the cost. Can I know the net cost? Net cost of your cart. You are giving the
So it would
breakup and
come around 15,000 or something.
15,000. Okay. All right. All right, Pragati. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Give us a minute for evaluation. Yeah. Go ahead with the next team.
Yeah, so the next team we have from MBA department. Yes, Arun, India, and Bhavna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'll present my screen.
sure.
Yeah, Chalki.
Is it seen?
Yes, it is visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. So this is about an application called as Park Expert. So we are from MBA or CMRIT. Myself, Bindya, Bhavna, and Arun will be presenting about this. So in a country with the third largest road network in the world, the total number of vehicles in the fiscal year 2019 stood at 295.8 million. Um, Road travel seemed to be the preferred choice in India, with over 60% of the population who used personal or shared vehicles for commute. So our application is about it's about parking, vehicle parking thing. So the main mission of our application is to connect commuters to safe, secure, and digitized parking space all across the country. Um, so the next slide is about our company. So our company, Park Expert, was founded in 2021. So this is a fully based internet application. The headquarters is Bangalore, and the company aims to be most preferred and recommended parking based on functional quality, operational excellence, and customer satisfaction also. So the next slide will be taken over by Arun.
Yes, thank you, Bindya. So the problems of the why we conducting this app is like petrol. The first point is petrol. So we know that in this topic, the more petrol we are searching for more when we search for the parking lot, the vehicle consume more petrol and patience. When we come to next point, patience. in the busy schedule of the people, there is no patience to wait or like we have to wait. So and next will be next more traffic. So there will be more traffic. The individual can't get the vehicle out, and also to make it congestion free. From this app, we can go with the free, and also there will be more vehicles are parked, so it will be helpful when we create this app. So next will be explained by Bang.
Okay, so thank you, Arun and Vidya. I'll be continuing with how the application works. Since it's only based on internet, let's see how it works. So the main motive is to look, book, and park. So as my friends explained that there is a lot of shortage for parking. If you see, when I researched about the parking spaces in other countries, it was told that there are many varieties of parking systems. There's parallel parking. There's like where you go and park in like there's a device that takes your car on top and you can parallel park and other things. But in India, we lack all of this, and it's due to the technology. I mean, we're lagging in technology and other things. So basic idea is to look, book, and park. So say you're in this place. Say let's say Kundanahalli or Markalli, and you want to visit a mall, and they say it's full parking. So you will have to know where to park, how to park, or where the space is available. All you have to do is just download this application and just switch on the application and switch on your location on your phone, and it will show you the nearest parking within, like, say, 2 kilometer radius. So I mean, it depends on how far you further away you want to park, but that's up to the customer. That's up to the end user. So now let's look at the market. The market is a service market. Basically, I'm not sure if others pitched in about product-based ideas, but this is a fully fledged service market. The industry is service sector, as I mentioned. Both go hand in hand. So the industry that we are targeting is a service sector. So let's say all the manufacturers of the vehicles and all of them come under our target. The end user is, as my teammate Vindhya explained, that majority of the country, that is India, we tend to use cars. Now it's developing to become cars. Majority of them start to use cars. We are planning to expand our application for two-wheelers also, but as of now, we're going ahead with cars because the problems majorly come out of car parking because it's parked in middle of the road or side of the road. So this is the outline of how it works. Let's go to the next thing. Why park expert? So I'm pretty sure all of you are concerned. Why do I need an application for just parking a vehicle? I can go and search of it. But as my friend explained, Arun explained, that it's really not about going and searching. It's difficult that one person has to get down, go and search. If the park space is there, you'll have to go stand there before another person comes and parks in the vehicle. All of that are few problems. So now, why Park Expert is, it helps in smart parking, saves time, it's cashless. So it's nothing. All you have to do is just download the application and you're in, and the application works as fast as possible. It's safe and secure. It's convenient. Every individual, let's say in Bangalore, it's the IT hub of India, and there's so many vehicles on the road that you see every single day. And this is one of the targets that we considered. It has to be convenient and it saves fuel. So the next thing will be explained by Bindya again, the marketing strategy. So for any business or service, I think it is very important to plan the marketing strategy accordingly. So in the initial days, when we introduced this app, we thought we'll be offering people with lots of discounts, vouchers, and offers park your car for two or more than 2 times, and the next fourth of the parking will be free of cost for you. And we'll also be providing a free hair check facility at the parking area, or any car service facility like cleaning the glass shield or anything like that. So these are the main part of our marketing strategy. and social media marketing, paid influencer marketing, and also paid user acquisition campaign, um, and retention campaign. So the main part of our strategy is to promote Park Expert application. So we will be advertising and promoting our app using social media platform and radios, etc. And so to go on to the finance part of the business, as this goes cashless, so our investment was planned to be 5 lakhs, and in that the advertisement cost would be about 3 lakhs, and the license cost and other expenses would have been 50,000, and the rest was for miscellaneous expenses. So how we are going to get a profit from this is we will be partnering with the malls and colleges or any other places and even the app store. So we will be gaining a profit from them. So this is the main part of the marketing strategy. Sorry, finance. And
thank you for hearing us out, and we are here to help. So we're ready to taking the questions that are put forward.
Yeah, one of you can switch on the camera. India.
Yeah, Bindya, can you go to the first slide?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
See, I found this the spelling error in the very first slide of yours. Your name of the company itself is mentioned wrong.
Park.
Oh,
Has to
yeah.
be park.
We are so sorry, so we didn't notice about it.
No, 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 no.
This
See,
was the last minute preparation, so
this is called attention to detail.
yes, sir, I agree.
You have to concentrate on these things. Though your presentation looks quite appealing, it's designed very well. But I was a little confused when I read the name as Prac Expert. I was not able to understand what are you talking about here.
We are so sorry, sir.
So in a team, I think you should concentrate on something. Anyways, that's fine. I like the concept, and I think you should look for ways to attract investors initially.
Yes, sir.
So how do you plan that?
Uh, Ways to attract investors. So we will be pitching in our idea to them, and I think this will be very easier for each and everyone. So we will probably give them a part of the share, and
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Bindya, what happened?
hello.
Bindya. Yeah, Bindya, you can
Yeah,
carry
yes,
on.
ma'am. Give me 1 minute, ma'am. There's
Yeah,
some
yeah.
problem.
You can click on stop presenting. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Bindya, please carry on.
Yeah, so the question was the ways to attract investors. So we will be, pitching in our idea to the other people, and we'll be giving them a part of the share or profit to them, and also we'll build a strong online platform also where even they can be a part of it, and And yeah, that's it, mom.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. We are listening. We are waiting for you.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I guess Bindya told about the investors. So that's how we researched about right now. That is what we're gonna. That's how we attract our investors per se. That's it, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you. It was good. We really need this. But then I was just wondering, I have seen from ages any innovation which we see, every innovation has invited lot of limitations in it. What are your limitations? What are your limitations in general?
So the basic limitation that we'll be having with regard to this application is space. Space is something we know that space is something that is so congested in Bangalore, and it's not provided very well, allotted very well. So space is something that we'll be dealing with majorly. That's the first thing. And second thing is the technology. As I told you, there are parking systems where I'm really not, I'm so sorry that I'm not sure about the word, that technical word that comes with it. It's a parking system where you go park your car and it goes on top. So that is one thing that we have not developed fully in our country. There are places that do provide that parking, but it's just say one or two
Hmm.
malls that provide such kind of parking. So I think we'll need to come up with
Hmm.
effective ways of parking our vehicles. And one more thing is misuse of the application per se. So a person can actually use the parking for at least 2 to 3 days, and that has to be recorded. That has to like they'll have to renew their parking fee or anything with regard to that. Misuse can happen in any application with regard to this
Hmm.
thing. Say bounce also, it's now out of the market because of misuse of their vehicles. So these are few of the
Hmm.
limitations that we came across right now within the time that
Hey,
we were
can
provided
you
to
tell
come up with an idea.
can you tell us something about monitoring system which you want to use for misuse, this misuse, your monitoring system? How do you monitor for this misuse?
Monitoring for this misuse. So I can say, since we are going to be targeting only certain places, so you will get, we are trying to, in every area, we are trying to get certain spaces. So in those certain spaces, there will be an hands-on expert, as in there will be a person who sits there and monitors the vehicles that are coming in and the vehicles that are staying for a longer time. And also, since it's an application based, they have to mention how long they're going to be staying there. I mean, how long they're going to be parking in that space. If they are not mentioning and they're going to stay for a longer time, we will get
Hmm.
to know through the person who's sitting in that particular parking space. So that is one way that we can monitor the misuse of the parking spaces. Apart from that, I'm really not
What
sure.
what would
Yeah.
be the percentage of error in this? What would be the percentage of error in this?
I think it will come up to. Uh, I say it will come up to around 45%, because as
That's
like
huge.
we yeah, that is huge, I understand. But since people are still we are digitally I mean, we are a digital country that's totally going into digital placement. But since for people to understand the whole working of the app and to come up with the solution like this, it's very risky for people to use, because we Indians tend to just park wherever we get a space or we see a space, and there are a handful of people that will open an app and like do it like um, how do I tell you, do it accurately. So I think this is one thing that we need to focus on and try to minimize the percentage of risk.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Oh,
And also sorry for the spelling mistake. I'm really sorry. We were
any
in a,
joke.
very time precise
Why
this
why
thing, so I'm
why
really sorry
Mudassir
about the
pointed out
spelling mistake.
is why Mudassir pointed out is today we are in an era where everybody look for a microscopic detail.
Yes.
So it's very, very important. That's where you are different from others. Otherwise, largely XYZ would have done the same job. How different you are can be seen only when you look at things at the microscopic level. All right?
Absolutely,
Sure, sir. I
absolutely
sincerely
correct.
apologize, but we'll consider this mistake and learn from it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
The as you have seen the list, sir, the evaluations list you have seen, and the names are not there from the MD department, so they have fixed in the very last moment, and that's how they have done the mistake. Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay. It's okay.
yeah. After 2 minutes, we'll
Over
be
to
ready with
Mudassir
the
if he has
next.
any questions.
Yeah, we'll be ready with the next
Yeah,
input.
I guess Mudassir, you have any question?
No,
No,
I'm
sir.
I'm pretty much done.
All right. Just give us one minute for evaluation.
Sure, sure, sir. So, Vindhya, you can tell Anish and team to be present.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'll present my screen for them.
Yeah. Okay. Vindhya, you can share the slides.
Yeah, go ahead, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Just a minute.
Last table.
Ma'am, I'll present now and they'll start explaining.
Hi, good afternoon to one and all present. So, a very warm welcome. So, my name is Anish, and I'm here with a small idea which we brought up. So, before I start presenting, I would like to start off with a story which happened in my life with my own friend. So, basically, what happened is one of my closest friend, he was an athlete, basically. What happened is he was a very passionate athlete. So he was into running. He was a sprinter. He was a national level sprinter. So what happened is one day he had won a state level competition and he had thrown a party to his friends. So most of his friends were drunk. So yeah, they were drunk and they were they were partying. So once after the party, what they did was one of his friend who was totally drunk
started to drive the car. He was uncontrollable. Though my friend, tried to explain that it is not safe driving after you consume alcohol, so he didn't listen to it. So he started driving, and sadly, they met with an accident. And one of the worst part of my friend's life is he lost a limb. So this is something which made his life miserable. So all his dreams, all his passion went to a rogue, and there was no mistake of his. Though he told his friend that he will be driving, but the friend didn't agree to it. So this is a small story which gave me a thought of why is this happening. There are almost, if I have to take up the statistics, there are almost 12,000 accidents, cases of accidents, which happens through drink and drive. And it is not just the driver who's suffering from this, but also the pedestrians who's walking, in the opposite direction. So what is the solution? So there are many places where people, the police also, they're trying to do a lot of, they're putting in a lot of efforts to prevent this, but it is not happening. We still have 12,000 cases every year happening. So what is the solution? So the solution which I tried to come up is Spotiker. So what is Spotiker? It is an intelligent alcohol detection system. So one of our major aim is to make sure that people understand that their life is precious. Not only their life, but the person who's coming in front of them, right? So what is Spotiker? Spotiker is basically a machine or sensor which detects the alcohol content in your body while you're driving. So I will be, showing the mechanism of the model which we have come up. So this is the block diagram of our model. The device. So we have a keypad, we have a motor, we have a sensing alcohol sensing circuit. And what happens is, so these sensors. So I'll just show you a model which we had come up with. So you all can see your arrow mark which is pointed towards the sensor. So that is a sensor which I was talking about, as well as right next to the gear lever there is a thumb impression. So how this device is going to work is, so once you're inside the car, there will be a device which is attached to the engine, the car's engine. So once you enter, you'll have to give a thumb impression. So why thumb impression is because there are people who will try to give the thumb impression in order to, thumb impression of people who have not consumed the alcohol and try to start the engine. So what happens is, through this thumb impression, the alcohol content which is there in your blood cell will be detected. So if there is, there will be 0.3% is the minimum alcohol content, maximum alcohol content which a person can, consume while he's driving. So if it is exceeding, then that is, harmful to the person as well as to the people around him. So this device, this thumb impression, what it will be doing is, it will first check your alcohol content in your blood cells. So if it is less than 0.3%, then the engine is going to start. So you will get the access to start the engine. So once after that, what happens is, there will be a sensor in the right in front of the steering. So that will be in the radius of 1.5 feet. So once you start driving, if at all, if you have malpracticed during the thumb impression, the next verification is through this sensor. What will happen in this? The mechanism here is, so once you start driving, so through your breath, the sensor is going to detect your alcohol content. Again, if it is more than 0.3 percentage, the car is going to give you a caution, and it is going to reduce your speed limit to 40. So it is not going to increase your car speed for more than 40 kilometers per hour. So if at all you're uncontrollable and if you want to reach home safe, reach home fast, and you try to exceed 40 kilometers per hour, then in the next 1 minute, the car is going to shut its engine down. So it is really safe for people to understand that they should be responsible, because they have their family waiting for them every day. So this is a model, and we have the finance part coming up, so which will be explained by Arun.
So the financial part goes like this. So we have capital investment for 60 lakhs. So the total products manufactured are 500 products. So our products, particular, the raw materials required for this product are microcontroller and MQ2 sensor, motor, and SMD buzzer, LCD, and circuits. So the total manufacturing cost of raw materials, it's for a product, means single product. For single product, it goes like this. So microcontroller 370 and MQ2 sensors 250 per product and motor 600, SMD buzzer 250, LCD 30 and circuits 1200. The total manufacturing cost per product will be the 3200 and other expenses will be like this. Rent will be 5000 and electricity 2000 per month and transportation charges and total expenses will be 8000. So totally the total cost incurred for product will be the 11200 for a product and the total for a product it incurs 11200. For 500 products it will be costing 56 lakhs. So we have capital investment of 60 lakhs. So the next features will be continued by Akanksha.
Thank you, Arun. So the features of the buzzers go like this. So these buzzers give high performance, as you can see, and it employs unimod piezoelectric elements. So these are designed, like it says, for easy incorporation. So it's like automatically inserted in the steering. And then the main feature is that it has extreme low power consumption. So this depends on the car's battery. And these buzzers are also, they give a musical tone, per se, like
Yeah, Akanksha, are you there?
am I audible?
Yeah, please carry on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these buzzers, they are designed for, I mean, they have a musical tone and they also have a voice quotient. So to, like stop you or give you a warning. Then, like it's shown that it is moisture resistant. So since it is near the steering, people sometimes may drink or spill something. So that way it is moisture resistant and also water resistant. So the next thing, the characteristics of the same will be that the vehicles, this is controlled through a text message. So when there's a warning given, a text message is directly sent to your emergency contacts. There's also a GPS tracker, and this is of low cost and definitely has a long life. And it is like it's shown, it's a simple drive circuit. The marketing and the advantages will be explained by Likit.
Yeah, so this product advantages is mainly to prevent accidents due to drunken driving. So that's our main cause. And it is also easy, efficient to test the alcohol content level that's due to the sensors that's present in the steering. And this avoids, the man force that is required, say the police. They are doing a great job. Even though they're doing a great job, there are people still escaping and finding other routes or bribing police. So this helps in control of that, and it's also quick and it also produces quick and accurate results. Since this is a machine, and machines can be dependent on, so this gives quick and accurate results. So with these advantages, we'll be pitching this to the R&D department of each and every automobile companies, and so when they hear this advantages, so not everyone will be ready to accept. There are few people who might reject the ideas. There are only few people who will be ready to accept the new innovative ideas. So when they accept it and when this clicks, their company will be differentiated from the other company because of these advantages that the company provides. The car will be much safer to drive, and seeing this, the customers will be more driven towards this company, which may be a safe car rather than some other company. So these are some of the advantages and how we'll be pitching into the companies. Thank you. Stay alive, don't drink and drive. Thank you.
Good. Wonderful presentation. And I like the way you presented it. And the best part of your presentation is entire team had some responsibility, some accountability in presentation. But I just want to ask one thing: social benefit versus personal benefit. What would you like to talk on this? Social in your project, in your concept, in your innovation. I see more of a personal benefit or a benefit of that family, but at large, social benefit uh, could be there. I don't know if you can justify social benefit versus personal benefit.
So if I have to talk about the personal benefit, yes, we definitely, the personal benefit definitely matters because everybody relies on the family member itself, the head of the family or anybody, irrespective of it. But social benefit, how it's going to affect the social benefit is, so for example, if I have consumed alcohol and if I'm driving, so we have a lot of examples where there are people who have, where the cars have rammed over the people who are the pedestrians who are walking on the footpaths. And we have an example. The best example, if I have to talk about, is Salman Khan. So he rammed over almost 12 people who were just lying down on the street, on the footpath. So these are some of the major issues which is concerning the social, the societal, category. And also one of the major factor which we notice is that, so if the person is responsible, I think he shouldn't be driving. He shouldn't be consuming alcohol and drive. So if the person is irresponsible, not only about himself but also the people around him, I think we'll have to stop it. We'll have to put a full stop to it. So this was a main motive. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Over to Mudassir.
Yeah, Anish.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Presentation was good, concept was good, but I was trying to just evaluate how best it will work out because you said two things. One, uh, it gives. I mean, this if it is detected that the person has consumed alcohol and he's driving through, the breath. And the device detects it, and this or speed automatically comes down to 40 kilometers per hour.
Yes, sir. Correct.
So in a country like India, when people are driving old ambassadors and Fiats or 800 for that matter, even today, how do you sync this idea with those type of vehicles? And also, you spoke about the second one was the engine will stop within a minute if he's overspeeding than 40 kilometers per hour. Many advanced technologies, the cars with advanced technology doesn't have this feature of this. How do you work on this?
So basically, since it is an innovative idea and no company has come up with this, I think what we would have to do is we have to. I mean, there are. If I have to take up the statistics, there are almost 34 lakhs of cars which has been manufactured every year, right? So if we start approaching to each and every company, so one company is manufacturing 34 lakhs, cars every year. And yes, if I have to be very frank, out of 10, I think hardly one would be using a old model car, right? Most of them would prefer a good feature or new feature in the market, and they would go for that itself. So they would go for the best, and also a feature which will save their life. I think I strongly believe that no family would, say no to that particular car.
No, I agree, but see, you're talking about the upcoming cars, the cars which are planned to get manufactured. But what about the existing cars on road? Number one. Number two, will your idea is confined to only four wheelers? What about the trucks? What about the bus? What about auto rickshaw? What
But
about
sir,
the mini
I
transport
think we are
vehicles?
majorly concerned with the cars because see, if it is a two-wheeler, the two-wheeler can be controlled and the damages can be reduced. But if it is a
What
car,
what about the truck?
the
And what
truck,
about
yes,
the
we have
yeah?
to implement that, sir. So we will be expanding our product line further. But for now, we have this product line in the market, which we want to bring it up. So once we get a good response of our product, I think we will be happy to expand our product further. to all other vehicles in the market.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So please give us a minute. We will evaluate this and come back to you.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Students, please do not leave. Please stay back.
I request all of you to kindly stay back for some time because finally we would like to sum it up and give some remarks and also keep the floor open for your questions in case if you want to ask any question to the panel. You're also at the liberty to ask because I want each one of you to go back home not just with your trophy and prize, but also with rich knowledge to make your ideas much more innovative. So give us about 30 seconds. All right. Good evening, everybody. It was nice and wonderful to be with such eminent speakers. And today, I have no second thought in accepting the fact that when we were of your age, where we were and where you are, perhaps there is no comparison. My sincere appreciation to all the 6 teams for their great presentation and wonderful and very innovative ideas. Quick summing up, when you talk about innovation, something which you need to keep at the forefront is there is something called fab analysis. Fab analysis is a very popular terminology in sales and marketing, or it is associated with any product for that matter. Now, what is this fab? Fab means FAB. F is features, A is advantages, and B is benefit. So largely, an end user look for their benefit. See, many times we'll have a lot of features in our product, but that will not have major advantage. And there are also situations where we see great advantage over the other product. But what it means to me matter. So what it means to me is benefit. So focus more on the benefit to a common man, number one. Perhaps that's the reason why I was asking every person what it means to the society, what it means to the people in large. So your focus should revolve around that part. If that is taken care, any innovation will always have a red carpet welcome. Look for that, and I'm glad majority of you have seriously worked on benefit in large. But that doesn't mean that features and advantages can be, sidelined. No, you get the real benefit only when there are some good features and advantage in it. But very quickly, I'll explain what it means. Feature, let's say in late 80s, we saw a launch of a vehicle called Hero Honda. What was the feature? The feature was fuel consumption. Advantage, more mileage, more mileage. But what it means to the customer, benefit is every customer was investing about 2,000 rupees in a month for his two wheeler, for the maintenance, fuel maintenance of his two wheeler, or 2,000 rupees. After the launch of this, his expenses dropped down from 2,000 to 1,200. So the benefit was 800 rupees. 800 rupees was the benefit. So that innovation gave the benefit of 800 rupees. So that's the reason even today when we think of a two-wheeler, the first name which strikes our mind is Hero Honda. I have also seen many innovation which comes with great idea, but end of the day, what it matters, what it means to me. If it is costing 3,000 instead of 2, then certainly it's not giving any benefit. Innovation which does not give any benefit to an end user will always have limitations in the market. And looking forward or looking ahead with that innovation, I doubt we can certainly think about it. But anyway, the products what you have presented are really nice, and I hope that people in big number would like this and accept. Now, what I do is I keep the floor open for some time in case if the participants have any questions, whatever little knowledge I have about this, I would glad to share it.
Yeah. Students, please ask questions.
Because I always lived with the belief that end of the day we go back home. I can speak at length, Mudassir can speak for hours together, but end of the day, what really matter and what makes a difference is we understand things better only when we ask questions. So I always encourage people to ask questions so that we can focus on a very specific uh, area.
So, questions, please.
Okay, I'll give you 1 minute time for you to think. In the meantime, I'll interact with Madam. Dr. Rima, I just want to know, you want us to evaluate and give the final result, or we'll just upload the mark sheet?
Sir, yeah, Sridevi ma'am, please. Yeah.
Sir, you can upload the marks in that sheet for this question.
All right. I think, Mr. Mudassir, you are listening to me. We'll just upload the marks to each sheet, they'll evaluate and they'll give the final verdict. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam, is it okay if I accumulate everything on an Excel sheet and share it to you
Yes,
after
sir.
some
No,
time?
no issue. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah,
By
it's
the end
fine,
of day,
sir.
you can do it, sir. Not issue.
All
By
right.
tomorrow also, by tomorrow morning also, if you can submit, then that will be nice, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine,
Yeah.
fine. All right.
Yeah,
We'll do
fine.
that.
Yeah, I request all of you to put your video on so that we'll have snap that
Yeah,
is online event. Students can
yeah.
start
Please, students,
please
please
and now put your video
keep
on.
your videos on.
Please unmute Vikram, India. Yes, guys. People there in the meeting, Akanksha, Arun, Bhavna, Friday, Prakash.
Yeah, I'm waiting for your questions.
Yeah, yeah. So you can
Maybe
ask
we can
questions to
start with
yes,
Dr. Rima or Devi. You set the ball rolling, the students will follow you.
So, pardon?
I think if any one of you can set the ball rolling by asking a question, your students will follow you
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
in case if you have any question.
Yeah, Anish, Akanksha, any one of you is having any doubt, please ask.
it may be about your project or the next upcoming, if you have any doubt, like how to proceed on, or any slides. Yes, anything you feel you can ask, don't hesitate.
Okay, so who is going to take the snap, Sridevi ma'am?
Yes, I understand. Yes,
All
Vikram.
right. If there are
Okay,
no
let me
questions,
take
yeah,
the
I think
snap.
someone is on scene. Someone is on screen. I can see. I could see. If you have a question, go ahead, please.
Vikram or anybody?
Yeah, I have taken few snaps. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, if there are no questions, thank you very much. I thank
Sridevi
management
ma'am.
and in particular Dr. Rima and Mrs. Sri Devi for coordinating and moderating this session. It was great
Yeah,
and
thank you
wonderful
so much.
experience spending 2 lovely
We are
hours with you.
we are extremely thankful to both the resource person Aftab sir and Mudassir sir for your for spending the entire afternoon session with the students, listening to them and guiding them. And in fact, I must say that you have asked very relevant and very wise questions. I, in fact, loved all the questions that you have asked because that has made them to do a kind of brainstorming. So let me tell you that we are at the very initial stages of idea development stage, and we have successfully done the idea pitching contest. With the first stage, we have been very successful. So, with the limited number of participants, let us see to what extent we are going ahead, and there are many other steps going forward in the idea development stages. So, let's see how you all are going to pitch on. Okay, thank you all for your participation, and I'm extremely thankful to Aftab sir and Mudassir sir for spending the time with us. Yeah, and enlightening the students. Thank you so much, sir.
Finally, a
Thank you
note
so
to
much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I thank all of you, like Akshay sir and Mudassir sir, for joining the session. And it was really a wonderful session, sir. And as Madam told, the questions, whatever you asked, you have made them think students in a different way. Because just coming with an idea, they may not thought of like the last level, the product level, marketing, strategy, everything. It was really a valuable session. I thank both of you for your time you have spent. And I appreciate the students also because they have come up in this idea phase and it's going to continue for next POC phase and then prototyping and marketing this product also. So I thank once again the previous persons, Akshay sir and Mudassir sir, and students, and Professor Rema also for coordinating.
Thank you, Shri
Thank
Devi
you
ma'am.
again.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
We can wind up.
Yeah, we can wind up.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ma'am, you can.